Back at it again with Big Deke News. Just wanted to tie up some loose ends on this Mason Rudolph signing. First, it is official. It wasn't fake news. Mason Rudolph is signing again with the Steelers. How do I know? The Steelers' Twitter account announced it yesterday. So Mason is back for a 6th year. But now we have his jersey number and that controversy. Does he get number 2 back? And that was confirmed to be the case. Mason will be getting number 2. Tanner Morgan goes to 5. Now, I don't know what Mason had to do to get his number back, but I would like to guess the Steelers just gave it back to him. There was no negotiations between Mason and Tanner. Mason being a 5-year vet, going on his 6th year. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin paid him enough respect to at least let him get back his number. Now, I know Mason's not the most prolific Steeler of all time, but I think that's the right thing to do. And going back to my initial reaction video to when it was first reported that Mason signed with the Steelers, you saw the intro. Mason's been getting kicked in the nuts for a while by the Steelers organization. So I think this is the least they could do. Give him number 2 back, throw him a bone. And with the Mason signing, you're hearing continued rumblings about whether or not the Steelers should move on from current QB2, Mitch Trubisky, whether cut or trade, and then make Mason the backup. Well, we got a former Steeler backup, actually, Bruce Gradkowski, talking about this situation on 93.7 The Fan yesterday. It says, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, you know that relationship's there if it's pretty strong. I don't think I want to break that up. But in the same sense, with Mason and his experience, absolutely, he could be your backup if you got a good offer for Trubisky. But I really like that athleticism that Trubisky brings, and I think the league nowadays, you need that. And if something happened to Kenny, because he is a tough football player and he's going to run for first downs, he's going to take some shots, I'd want an athletic guy behind him. So that's why I think it fits good with Trubisky being there. I got to side with Bruce on this one. I don't think the Steelers are in this dire scenario where they got to get rid of Mitch. I get it. It could be for the cap savings. If they did it right now, it'd be $8 million. But if it was in June or after June, it'd be up in the double digits. But why do we need cap savings that bad? The positions we're talking about potentially bringing in are like a third inside linebacker. And the player we're talking to is Quan Alexander. His contract's not going to be anything extreme. Probably be like 1 year for like $2 or $3 million. So we could keep Mitch on the roster and also bring in Quan Alexander. Now, if injuries happen, that could be a different story. If a team was willing to trade a premium, that could be a different story. But as of right now, there's no need to get rid of Mitch because also we still got a regular season to play. And you know what happens during the course of football seasons. The unexpected. So if we were to need the backup for a period of time, I like the Steelers' chances with Mitch Trubisky over Mason Rudolph. Call me crazy. And some of you might, because I pulled up the survey from last year going into that Carolina Panthers game, and 75% of Steeler Nation preferred Mason as the starter over Mitch. Now, I'm guessing the emotions were high at that point. People were just really pissed off at Mitch Trubisky because he was coming off of those 3 picks against the Ravens. So now, with it being the offseason, are cooler heads prevailing? Is it flipped? Would it be 75% they would want Mitch and then 25% Mason? You guys let me know in the comments. Who do you guys want for QB2 now that Mason is back? Would you prefer Mason or Mitch? Let's say the contract doesn't matter. It's one game. You need your backup. Go into a stadium. Get you guys a win. Who do you want? 10 or 2? But also consider this. I think the Steelers front office, the Steelers brass, really like Mitch. I don't even think this is a thought going through their minds. They've talked about wanting Mitch back not only this season, but also long term. Now, I don't think it's wise to be paying a backup $10 million year in and year out. And this is the end of Mitch's contract that he signed in the 2022 offseason. So that shouldn't be the case. If he does hit the market, the Steelers will obviously probably be talking more in like the $4 or $5 million range. But I just think they like Mitch, and Rooney and Omar Khan has said so as much.
We're finishing up an extension with Mitch Trubisky.
Okay!
Mitch. So we feel good about our quarterback room, so that was an important piece. We got, obviously Kenny Pickett's our starter, and we feel really good about Mitch Trubisky in the role he's in, and he feels good about it. And, we've added Mason Rudolph, so we're really excited about that QB room. But there it is. So we're working on that. That'll be done here shortly.
But more news for today. We had a Darnell Washington interview pop up. Did one with Patrick Peterson and Brian McFadden on the All Things Covered podcast. Here's Darnell talking about the man of the hour, KP8.
With Kenny, I know he's a younger quarterback, so I know it's work that still need to be done, but that's just, it just takes time. And playing with a younger quarterback like that, a quarterback that to do it all with his feet or whatever, it's kind of crazy how you ask that question, because I mentioned today in practice, I was just like, bro, it's different, like how an NFL quarterback throws it and a college quarterback. I'm not saying Stetson don't put it on like with heat like how Kenny do, but
different velocity.
Yeah.
No question.
It's coming. So, just Kenny being my quarterback is I'm blessed to have him. For me to whatever, if that's in protection or if that's running a route for him, I'm blessed to have him. In the backfield. So
that sound clip was for the haters because I didn't need to hear it. I know ball. I know Kenny Pickett knows how to throw football. Actually, I got to see him do it at a very successful rate in the second half of last year. And actually, there's one game in particular with really tough conditions, freezing temperatures against the Raiders on Christmas Eve, lead a game-winning drive. Outplay, actually, a good quarterback. Most consider like a top 15 guy in the league in Derek Carr. So, yeah, I know Kenny Pickett can throw a football, but that's just for the people that don't know football because apparently they don't know how to watch it. They can't look at the TV and see Kenny Pickett do it, and they want to complain about his arm strength still. But maybe now that a fan favorite draft pick in Darnell Washington said it, maybe they'll actually listen. Maybe that was convincing enough for them to stop spewing their bad takes. We also have Darnell talking about another second-year player on this Steelers offense. Actually was former teammates of his over at Georgia. This is Darnell talking about the potential of GP.
I saw him in Georgia do crazy stuff against. Y'all, you're like the defense that we just had.
Yeah. Y'all got some dudes.
Yeah. So, against one of the top people in the nation. At that league, college league, whatever. But it's crazy. Just like his ball skills is crazy. I can't even explain it. You know how DBs play through their hands or, things like that. Like with him, I saw him times he'll fake act like he's like the ball's fading him and he'll just cut in what the hell at the last moment. But it's just his ball skills just makes him unique. Like when people say, "Oh, I have crazy ball skills," he legit has it.
Yeah.
So with this upcoming season, man, expect the world from him. I say
he ain't lying. There's just catches Pickens makes. You're just like, how, bro? How is this even possible? But I did like how he brought up how defensive backs are taught that even if a quarterback makes a good throw and the receiver can get hands on it, that you could still make the play as long as you put your hands through the ball, whatever. But with GP and how he's able to do things almost like it's magic, makes it really tough, if not impossible, for a defender to do that. But finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Darnell Washington's. But finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Darnell's reaction to not getting the jersey number 0.
Nah, it's just how Steelers run things. That that's just a tradition. So
okay, I figured that.
I knew it.
Yep, I knew it too. They're not gonna have nobody with 0 on. Not the first year.
That.
That ain't happening.
Coach Tomlin said, we don't hand out single digits, or what do you say? Single digits to skill positions. We don't go by that rule. We traditional.
I kind of assumed that, but I just had to ask Darnell because I felt like Darnell probably wanted that 0. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I know you wanted that 0.
Yeah, it's a bummer. This is just more confirmation of what we already believed to be true. I think this is the second time Pat P even mentioned this, that the Steelers won't give out single digits to skill positions. So, yeah, it is what it is. It sucks, but it is the Steeler way. We live with it. We complain about it, but at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way either. That's it for this edition of Big Deke News. Hope you guys enjoyed on this fine Thursday. Weekend's coming up, so enjoy it. Spend time, friends and family. Stay chilling, and peace.